Hey, welcome to Journey. Well, sort of. We're doing this online because the boat show's in the CFSB Center this week, so we are not there for church. But you're going to hear from David Rose in just a minute, an interview I did with him that is absolutely phenomenal. You're going to love it. We'll be back at the CFSB Center next week. I'm starting a brand new series called How Not to Be Your Own Worst Enemy. We have all done it, haven't we? We've made decisions that we look back and gone, what was I thinking and why did I do that? Well, I'm going to show you 3 things you can pay attention to this year to keep you from making some of those decisions. It's something we're all going to need. But today we're wrapping up this series more than ever, and I'm going to sit down and interview David Rose. David serves on our guest services team. He and his family have been part of our church for about 4 years, and his story is going to inspire you in some extraordinary ways, not just with what God has done in him, but with what God is doing through him and through his family. So hope you enjoy this interview. Hey, so I'm here with David Rose. David and his family have been coming to Journey for about 4 years now, and you guys may recognize him because he serves on guest services and does an incredible job making people feel welcome when they show up on Sunday. So David, thanks for doing this with us, man.
Absolutely,
Appreciate it. Why don't you start by telling everybody just a little bit about your family? You got a pretty amazing family.
Well, my wife Mindy Rose, son, stepson, but he might as well be my son, Jackson Ames, and I got a daughter, Aslan. Jackson's 11, Aslan's 6. Like Matt said, we've been coming here about 4 years, and I guess in the last couple years is when we've started doing guest services. My wife does 252.
Yep. She's with all the elementary kids.
Correct, and she loves that. I do mine every other week. She does hers every week, but been talking to Jared about doing some kind of parking lot.
Oh, fun
thing.
So they may see you out there soon.
Some new, yeah, right. Some leading the team, doing something new in the parking lot for everybody coming in. But I've got a cool family, man. We started coming about 4 years ago because of Corey and Chelsea Gilbert, who also attend the church.
And they invited you.
They invited me, man, and that's all it took. My Chelsea works with Mindy, my wife, at the Callaway County Middle School.
Okay.
And me and Corey have become buddies over the years because they were friends and worked together. But yeah, it was that simple. They just asked, we came, and then we're still here 4 years later.
So I want to dig into that in just a minute. But first, let's go back. Let's go all the way back to where you grew up, what your church experiences were like as a kid. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, from probably my daughter's age, which she's 6, so somewhere in her 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I went to a Methodist church in Fulton, Kentucky, and I did that up until it was more of a friends went. You had a youth group. You did, just same old typical being a kid going to church, and
yep.
I kind of did it. My mom went off and on every once in a while, or I went with friends. Like I said, there was plenty of friends I had that went. I wanted to go. I wanted to just basically hang out with friends.
Yep.
And so I did that up until maybe, it was right before I was a freshman in high school. And I went from the Methodist church, went from there to a Southern Baptist church, which is literally across the street. Still friends.
Fulton's not very big.
No, it's not. Literally across, you just walk across the street, parking lot to parking lot, and you're from the Methodist to the Baptist anyway. So we got over there, did that, I don't know, probably, basically through high school. My senior year was when all the struggles started, and if you want to call them struggles, there was just things. I was being torn between this set of friends. It wasn't anything terrible, but there was just stuff in that church that I felt like I just felt like I needed to get away from it. And what essentially ended up happening is I got away from it and got away from it altogether.
You just walked away.
I walked away from church. And that was just kind of my life for, I went in and out of churches through the years, but it was few far and in between. And really till I started coming here, I wasn't going consistently at all from the time I was probably 19, 20, maybe 21, I don't know.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range. I was in my early 20s when I completely walked away from it.
Okay.
And then it took from then until about 4 years ago, I'm 39, So about 35. So, I mean, you're looking at a 10, 11 year window easy.
Yeah.
That I didn't have anything to do with it.
So you get invited by Corey and Chelsea, you and Mindy do, to come.
Right.
You're living where at that time?
In the middle of nowhere. It's called Dugdom, Tennessee.
Okay.
Grew up on the state line.
Yeah.
When me and Mindy bought a house, it just happened to be on the Tennessee side. I mean, I could stand at the end of my driveway and see Kentucky, but it's about from our house to here. Well, just say the church. From our house to the church, probably 30. It was about 35 to 40 minutes, give or take.
Okay, so they invite you to come. It's not exactly convenient.
No, not at all.
This isn't running down the street at Fulton anymore, right?
No, absolutely not.
So what were your thoughts? What was the conversation like you and Mindy had, and what convinced you to walk in for the first time? Because I'm guessing, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I'm guessing you were a little hesitant about doing that after you've been out so long.
Well, yeah. Not really hesitant. It was more thinking about the kids,
Okay.
especially Jackson, and knowing we needed to get somewhere. And Mindy grew up Catholic.
Okay.
Number one, so she grew up Catholic. I grew up whatever you want to call it, Methodist, Southern Baptist mix of whatever,
Sure.
and we had talked about it, but there was just nowhere. And we had gone to trying to think, a girl that I went to high school with, there was an Episcopalian church there in Fulton. So that was kind of, like I said, at this point in life, it didn't matter the religion. I mean, I was so beyond,
Yep.
what you were, Episcopalian, Baptist, none of that mattered. I could care less. And but she was, like I said, she grew up Catholic, so Episcopalian. I mean, that's about as close,
real close.
In that world.
Yeah.
That's about as close as
Yeah.
you're going to get. So we go do that for, like I said, we did that a few different times, off and on, and it was one of those deals where a couple of the kids, our kids had been around. It was easy.
Yeah. But you're looking for somewhere to get the kids back into church.
Well, right, and we're looking, and with me, and my wife knew, with me, it was going to be a struggle. Like, I mean, it was,
to get you,
yes,
you somewhere that you
it
wanted to go to, right?
right. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's the way to say that, where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that I wasn't going to try to get up and go if they wanted to go
Do
to
it
church.
for the
I was going to do it
family.
right.
Right.
I would have gotten up and gone.
Yeah.
Anytime. It's just I still wasn't there. So they asked, and it's the same old story. Well, yeah, sure, we'll go. This is funny, but that's about the time the click list at the grocery stores and stuff started here in Murray.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're thinking, okay, but before that, we come. The first time, I don't remember what you were talking about, but for whatever reason, it stuck. And I told her, I said, I can go there every Sunday. And that's kind of how there wasn't a lot of thought put into it,
Yep.
but for whatever reason, I told her, we can come here every Sunday. It was the atmosphere, man. It's just different. No way to describe it, but tell somebody, you got to get somebody there. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, you can't describe it to people, because everybody's got church in their head.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like church to me, like the way I grew up church.
So it just felt different to you in a really good way. Is that what you're
Absolutely,
saying?
absolutely.
So you guys came, you're driving 35 minutes.
Right.
You did that for a while.
Yeah.
You're living in Murray now, but you did that for a while before you ever moved
Yeah, we
here.
did it for around 2 years off and on. It's
crazy.
Yeah, there was things that come up. Yeah, we would miss.
Sure,
It was easy
sure.
to miss. I would have missed, I guess in my mind, I always thought I wanted to be there. I probably would have missed more if I was going to a church down the street. For whatever reason, I didn't want to miss. And then again, like I said, it turned into, we wanted to be there anyway. And then there's nothing.
You can get your groceries
There's
out.
nothing in Dugdom, so it became just a weekend thing. It
Yeah.
was, Mindy orders the groceries. We're going to get up and we're going to go to church. We're going to leave church. We're going to go get all the groceries. We're going to drive home. I mean, and it started becoming just a normal routine thing. And
So tell me this. You're 4 years into this now with your family,
right.
where it's a regular part of your family's life now.
Correct.
It's just part of your routine, what you guys do and who you are at this point. As you look back, before you were investing time in your faith as a family in terms of doing it this way, and now, how do you feel like God has made a difference in your family? What are some of the things you've seen with you or with kids or Mindy, whoever?
Well, I think it's kind of just a shot, but everything all around's better, man. I always, all through the years, I had my relationship with Jesus. I've driven a lot for years to work, and I had mine in the shower, in the car, you know,
Yep.
my relationship. But it's, even with the kids, you know, it's got them talking about Jesus. And you just, your normal reasons, I guess, that you grow up as a kid and you think about implementing God and Jesus and everything into your life. It's made it better for the conversation. I mean, for the sake of just having the conversations, because we didn't have the conversations.
Yeah.
It wasn't a topic. So you do it on your own, and you struggle as a parent, as knowing they need it, knowing you want to talk about it, but you don't know how. So it's just made it easy for it to be a topic in our life. Period.
You brought it front and center in your family.
Correct.
Right?
I mean, it's there, so it's not it became where you're not wondering how you want to talk about it. Now, if you just want to talk about it, you talk about it because here it is.
You've had a shared experience as
Correct.
a family every week that you then talk
absolutely.
about.
And Jackson, our boy, he went to a church camp. He got saved at the church.
Yeah.
Baptized
last
the
year,
whole
right?
nine. Yeah. So I mean, it's just turned into a great thing. Watching my 6-year-old come out of, her class every morning or whenever and have something and talk about it. It's pretty cool because it was gone from me. I mean, I just kind of figured, I'm going to grow up. I'm going to have my relationship with Jesus and, of course, get married, have kids, and then everything kind of comes full, back.
Yep.
And you wonder, okay, now you're going to have to implement into their life somehow. But no, it worked out great, man. I mean, I wouldn't change any of it at all. I mean.
And what amazes me about it all, you can trace it. I mean, there are a lot of things at play, but you can trace it all the way back to Corey and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Extending a simple invitation, right?
That was it.
That changed everything.
Yeah.
Now, I know, because we talk from time to time, I know that you have invited a lot of folks as well.
Yeah.
You've invited friends. You brought some not too long ago with you for the first time. You told a lot of people about it. Just tell me real quick, why do you turn around and invite your friends? Why are you talking to them about what's going on? What's motivating that for you?
Well, I mean, I've got a lot of friends that, some of them went to church more than me through the years that I didn't. But a lot of my friends feel the same way I feel about it. So it's like I said earlier, you got to get them there. Because church is church to people, sitting in a pew, listening to a sermon.
Yeah.
I mean,
they can't envision another way.
Correct.
Yeah.
So even my mom, the first time I can't remember, I don't know if it was a random Sunday or if it was Mother's Day or what, but I talked about church with her for a couple years, and then she finally made it. Of course, she was there for Jackson's baptism.
Yeah.
And but it's just different. I'd like people to get there to know that. You can have the relationship. It's not, because most of my friends that I grew up with, like I said, it's a pew, it's a sermon, it's a beating on you. The way I used to look at it. Some people say no, that's not, but it was, man.
Yeah.
It was you were being harped on to be this way. I've never felt that at Journey, not one time. So that's why I'll continually tell them, hey, even some of my friends, we're 39 years old. But I've still got good friends that we have relationships with, and we'll come up here and go out to eat, and even as adults, spend the night. Kids spend the night, know each other. It's like, man, let's get them going. If it's on a Saturday night, hey, man, especially if you hadn't been there, hey, we'll get up and go to church in the morning. And you can kind of almost not provoke, but well, you're here, you might as well go check it out. If it's only one, if it's only one time, because I'm telling you, that's all with me. Knowing how many years I was just against church. that's all it took was that one time, like, oh my gosh, we're sitting like in stadium seating. I mean, what is this? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. You come in, you got all these people greeting you. I don't know. That's why, like, when they said something to me about being in guest services,
Yep.
I thought, which I love talking to people anyway. So I thought, man, this would be cool just to see the people, and it's cool to watch somebody walk up. That's especially somebody like me, if they really like to talk, and then you start talking to them, and then you realize in the middle of it, like, this is their first day, you know.
Mm-hmm. This is what I love about what you're doing. You walked in and it felt different to you. You felt welcomed, comfortable, accepted the first time you came.
Yeah.
And now you've turned around because you know how important that is. So you've turned around, you're part of guest services now. You're helping create that experience for everybody who walks in the doors, but especially we have people for the first time every single Sunday.
Yeah.
You're creating that experience for them. So thanks for what you're doing. And we're just so excited to see what God's done and keeps doing in your life and in your family. We love you guys. And
Yeah, we love y'all,
So-
man. I mean, I guess it's easy to, like, somebody comes for the first time, the way it's set up, especially at the CFSB Center. Yeah, we do our guest services thing, and you talk to people and you try to feel them out, even if it's just in passing.
sure.
But you can come in there, if you ain't been in church in years like me, you can almost hide.
Yep.
You can get away from everybody and not even
As anonymous as you want to be.
correct.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes it. It's not only that. It's the way you give the message. That was what I told my wife in the very beginning. It's and whether it's you're the same age as me, or, you know, I was used to being a kid, you know, younger, and somebody was, you know, like your granddad or somebody standing up there and it was beating on you like it was an adult. I don't know if that has something to do with it, or I'm just getting older or what. But it's the way you present it, the delivery. That's what I say at work. Working people, it's all about the delivery, and you deliver. I mean, it's just the way you deliver the message. It's different. You or Jared, either one for that matter. When y'all are up there and talking, it's like, to me, it's like having this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're sitting there, and it's just like having a conversation, not being preached to. But
Absolutely. Well, it's incredible every week to see how God uses all of us
yeah,
and then does something way bigger than us in the lives of people. But it so often starts with one simple invitation. So listen, thanks for the invitations you make. Thanks for serving and helping people feel comfortable. And if you guys see David serving on guest services, shake his hand, introduce yourself. He'd love to meet you. He's never met a stranger.
No,
and,
try not to.
That's right. And thank him for all that he does. I told you David's story was going to be inspiring. What God has done in and through him and through his family is pretty remarkable. And if you have been to Journey, you know what a great job he and all of our other guest services volunteers do at creating an environment that makes you feel welcome and comfortable. I feel like as a church this year in 2020, we have an unprecedented opportunity. I am more excited about what's in front of us than I've ever been before, because God's opened some opportunities for us to make a huge impact in our community in ways we've never before had the privilege and the opportunity to do, which is why we need you now more than ever. If you're part of our church, I want to invite you to consider taking whatever your next step needs to be, because we need you engaged and involved to be able to seize these opportunities, to be able to do what God's asking us to do, and to show our community that we're for them in some new and really, really important and personal ways. So invite, because one invitation really can change everything. That's what David teaches us. Serve, because when you do what you can do, then God does show up and he does what only he can do, and he uses you in ways you didn't expect to impact people's lives. Connect, because spiritual growth, it happens in community. And so make a point to be connected with us at Journey and with the people who are there. Build some relationships and invite some people into your life. And then give, because consistent generosity really does change lives. So I would love to encourage you to take that next step, whatever it looks like for you. You'll be amazed at what God does in and through you this year if you'll just make yourself available. If you're not sure how to get started, you can go to our app. You can click on the connect button and there's information there. You can email me, matt@journeycalway.com. I'll get you the info you need to know. Or next Sunday, just stop by our next area. It's right by the suite, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. We'll help you get involved serving. We'll help you get connected. We'll do what we can to help you take your next step. Final thing I'll tell you is if you're part of our church and you want to give today, the easiest way to do that is just to click the Give button in our app or go to givejourney.com and you can give just like always. Thanks so much for your generosity because it makes it possible for us to show our community that we are for them and to inspire more people to follow Jesus. Hope you guys have a great week. We will see you next Sunday for part 1 of how not to be your own worst enemy.